it's going to be good for the city of Cohoes to move on and to have the opportunity to start healing. And if it's a plea deal, it's probably going to be pretty good for Shawn Morse as well. I think it's probably a win-win thing if he takes the plea and steps down sooner rather than later.
That's Bill Keeler, retired state police major who beat Cohoes Mayor Shawn Morse in a Democratic primary in June and will become the new mayor eventually. And we're joined now by our legal analyst, Paul Harding from Martin Harding Mazzotti. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good morning, George. Good morning, Chuck.
So the Cohoes Mayor Shawn Morse is going to be in court today, U.S. District Court in Binghamton. It's expected, according to reports, he's going to plead guilty to one count. He'd been accused of stealing campaign funds. Do you get the impression that because he's accepting a plea deal at this stage, the trial was set to begin next month, that no jail time would be involved?
Boy, that is not my indication of no jail time, but I do believe that this is going to happen today. He's going to plead to a single charge. Each of the charges carry a maximum over 1 year, and so whatever he's going to plead to, I think not going to see probation. I think we're going to see a small jail sentence, probably up to about 1 year.
That's a surprise, definitely.
Well, at least to me, but I'm just a layman though. So you sure. Thought, I was wondering, so when you take a deal like that, and you said like the sentences are a little over a year, it would still, I guess, what would you read into it? That the evidence is so strong against him that he would still take a deal that could lead to prison time?
You know, it's funny. So when you take a plea, it always feels like you're doing something that's going to maybe kind of launch you out of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, look, it was my fault, made a mistake, and I'm going to get super lenient. Here, when you got a case that has got so much media attention, and it's been something that involves the public trust, those cases, historically, it is nearly unprecedented that someone's going to have just a probation plea. And we don't know what he's going to plead to. I guess that's Rick, right? So we don't know how strong or weak the case was against him. We all perceived this case was super strong. We've got a co-defendant who's ready to testify against him, someone who already pled out, but maybe something kind of fell apart on the government side, and I may be wrong about this, but based on what I know, I think that's what we're going to find out. He's going to be doing jail time.
Yeah, we know it's the one charge. I'm curious why just the one, because I know there's multiple levels to this, but does that still mean that full prosecution of the other charges is still coming?
No, it just means he's going to wrap all the charges and he's going to plead to something. The prevailing conversation is going to plead to one. I'm not sure exactly why you all think that's the case. I mean, I guess maybe just that was just a conversation that somebody had and we all just kind of went with it. So we don't know if he's pleading, what he's pleading to. We think it's one charge. It could be two charges, but no, it'll wrap everything up. It'll all be done today, federal court in Binghamton, and then we'll await that sentence.
Yeah, and I think our assumption is, and it's never good to assume, that it's based on original reporting done Brendan Lyons of the Times-Union. Real quickly, I wanted to ask you, we don't have a whole lot of time, but this Daniel Pantaleo, the officer who was involved in the chokehold case against Eric Garner, who died on the streets of New York selling illegal cigarettes, he's been now fired by New York State Police. His attorneys are appealing. Given the fact that a grand jury looked at this, the Department of Justice looked at it, that the EMTs were faulted for not giving care quickly enough, does this guy have a chance of getting his job back?
Well, when you start talking about unions in New York City and police, I guess anything's possible. But at this point, they did an internal investigation. The IA investigation kind of came back, and the judge there said he should be fired. The police commissioner O'Neill said, I agree, although he really was in feel when he was delivering that news live. First time that the defendant found out about it, that he was going to be fired. But you could tell that it was one of those things that he just felt that he had to do what the judge wants to do. And at this point, fired, loses his retirement benefits. He's going to appeal. But again, I don't think he's going to come back on the job. I'm not sure exactly why he'd want to come back on the job, with what his rest of his career would look like. But yeah, there's an appeal pending. My guess is the appeal is to do something with his long-term benefits.
And then even if that did happen, though, then if a lawsuit comes from his end to the city, then he might have a good case there. Then.
Yeah, he may. Again, lawsuits against the city, for the death. He's protected under that. But I think probably what he's going to try to do is just try to work out something a little better financially for him in the future.
WGY legal analyst Paul Harding from Martin Harding & Mazzotti, 1-800-LAW-1010. Paul, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Talk later, guys.
Have a great day.